Live from the City of Angels on this Sunday night, you are watching Midnight Movie Talk. It's a special edition because we are going to savage some critics. Well, former critics. Also, we'll talk about MadameWeb, which bombed. And what does that mean for Dakota Johnson going forward? What a mistake it was to say yes to that project. Also, stop virtue signaling, okay? Stop saying a film is great because it features someone that you want to see on the screen more. Like, oh, look, it's better because of this representation. No, it's not. It's a good film or it's not, right? That's it. End of discussion. Welcome to MMT. If it's your first time, thanks for being here. Really appreciate it as we get started with our savaging of Chris Stuckmann. Now, I don't know a whole lot about this guy. I'm new to the YouTube game. This dude's, I guess, the OG, right? Was he the first guy to come onto YouTube and start discussing films? I believe that's correct. Come in the comments, tell me. Menzel's going to be joining us here shortly, and I know he has a long history with him. He knows like all the original OG YouTube movie people. So we'll talk to Scott in a moment, but we're going to talk about the issue here with Chris Stuckmann. You're talking about a guy, let me pull up his YouTube page, and you can see we're talking about 2.1 million subscribers. If you change the M to a K, you have how many subscribers MMT has, and we are so proud. So he only has, what is the math on that, guys? 100,000? No, it's more. It's 1/1,000,000. What's the ratio? We're infinitely smaller. So this dude, okay, so 2.1 million subscribers, and he's so boring. Okay, forget. I'm about ready to play you a video on why I'm going to savage him. Because I'm asking the question, why even bother Chris Stuckmann? Because when you put out material and content like this, as I flip over, this thing went crazy on Twitter. Look at this, 12.7 million views of this video. Well, this is how the guy gets more subscribers. Why can't we go viral like that? Help me out, guys. Come on. Let's listen to Stuckmann talk about the horrible MadameWeb.
Myself. Probably not going to do a video for this one based off of what I've heard, since I do try to keep it mostly about film celebration on this channel.
What? What's the point? We celebrate film. This is such a Gen Z thing, isn't it? Like, I feel like this is targeted to them. We can't be mean to anybody. Let's make everybody feel welcome no matter who they are. They're all part of the big family, and then they turn out to be the nastiest people. That's what Gen Z is so funny about. They sit there and they act like they're all this, you know, everybody's welcome. We are accommodating. And then they turn around and say the nastiest things on Twitter. I just come straight out and say it to your face. I don't have time for this shit. But Stuckmann, let's continue.
Channel. Having seen the film, I'm going to tell you that this is not a movie review of MadameWeb. I am not about bashing filmmakers.
Also, does he talk like a robot? Is that naturally how he talks? Because it's edited. You heard the edit in there, right? We don't do edits. We don't do that shit. He's like, and then
artists. I know how hard it is to make a movie. I do not know how hard it is to make a movie under.
He knows how hard it is to make a small indie film. I'm not suggesting that the film, whenever he gets done with it, is not going to be a good film. I don't know. But he's acting like, now that I'm part of the club of directors, I can't savage any more films. Well, then what's the point? Well, you know, why are you still doing this?
Under the studio system. I was able to make an indie film without a giant corporation breathing down my neck.
God, he's so stilted and so boring. This guy is so fucking dull. How did this guy become big? You guys tell me. Someone explain this shit to me. If I watch me, I'd be like, that guy's a loudmouth. I sort of get it. Although we have 1/1,000,000th the audience. But still, I would at least get it. With this guy, I'm like, who is this guy? He's just random dude. He's boring. Fuck, I'm tired watching him.
Which is not the privilege that S.J. Clarkson had when she directed MadameWeb.
Not the privilege that S.J. Clarkson had when she shut up. Holy shit.
Under Sony, which I can only imagine was monumentally difficult. This is not going to be
She got paid. She's a director. She took the job. She deals with this. You got to know going into a studio situation that you don't have control of the film. especially in MCU, whether it's Sony or not. Do you think that Kevin Feige lets his directors do whatever they want? We know that he doesn't, because look what the Russos did as soon as he stopped controlling them. They gave us Cherry and the Gray Man, two of the shittiest edited films, longest, horrible cinematic things I've ever had to sit through. So you know that you're going to have studio controls. Sony's clearly aren't good, but what I can tell from this director, S.J. Clarkson, she only has done television. She didn't show me anything in this movie. So I don't know if that's Sony's fault or not, but she doesn't show me any talent whatsoever in this film. None. Zero.
Video about MadameWeb and telling you whether or not you should see MadameWeb.
Oh, God. So here's why I'm railing on Stuckmann. And this is why, and it's fair, and you guys know it's 100% fair. Why do you even continue with your channel if you're going to sit on here and what is that? That's not even content.
I'm not going to say anything bad because it's hard to make a movie, and with a studio system and then breathing down your neck, then just forget it. I can't really find it in me to criticize the film that's terrible, that's edited chaotically, schizophrenically directed. Dakota Johnson's in a coma throughout the whole thing with zero energy. More on her in a moment. I mean, this is not a good film. And then the plot holes, the screenplays, all this shit's terrible. Exactly. 100%. It's bad. But this guy's like, I don't want to say that.
Here's why I'm bringing it up. Here's why I'm going to savage Stuckmann. Because when you have an audience of 2.1 million, not 2.1K, but M, you have a responsibility. You have a huge audience. You've got to deliver some good shit. I feel like, listen, I'm not saying that we deliver gold every week here on MMT. We did 3 streams today, so for God's sake, cut me some slack. But I do believe at moments we have great clarity and very good content. Not all the time. But what is this? Why are we doing this? And the thing that makes me furious about this, and I'm going to listen, you guys know I don't hold back, so I'm not going to start tonight. It makes me furious when I feel like there's times, especially when we're like in the zone on this channel and we're doing really good stuff. We're talking about films. We're really all about cinema, whether it's passionate or celebrating. And then you look and we just, listen, I told you guys, I don't care. When I do this channel, when I started, I didn't start it to get views. Like, oh, I have this many views, this many subscribers. That's not why I do it. That's why I don't ever hear me say, like, spread this, do that. I don't do that because I don't care. I just come on here and enjoy it. If you enjoy it, awesome. But it still is disheartening when you try to put out decent content sometimes, and then you see this dude come on and say, I'm not going to attack a director with how many views does the video have? I'm sure he has over 1 million views. Right? Because it's gone crazy. He's got 13 million views of that shitty clip of him going, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, because we don't do that anymore, right? It's really, don't even get me started. Spidey said, don't get me started with all of the plot holes. The number one plot hole of MadameWeb is when you watch the film and she takes the girls, right? She abducts the girls, and then the authorities are looking for her because they think she did take the girls, but authorities, number one, she's like FBI most wanted, and she's driving around in the cab that she abducted them in. They can't find the cab, even though it's parked outside a motel in Jersey. And then she gets on a plane to go to Peru post 2001 with airport security. How did she get on the plane when she's the most wanted person in the world? New York City post 9/11. This is terrible. So, Stuckmann, grow a pair, go back to doing whatever. I don't know what he did before other than put people to sleep in coma-inducing. If you have insomnia, watch Chris Stuckmann because he'll put you to fucking sleep. This channel won't do that. You'll be like, this guy's aggressive. This guy's irritated right now, and he's animated, but it's authentic. That guy, he's just like, I don't know if I'm edit. I don't know, edit. I'm going to edit. Boring, no talent. Seriously, I wish I were first on YouTube. Maybe we'd have 2 million subscribers. Doubt it, but at least I'd be further along in the game. But as it is, God bless all of you for being here tonight. Oh, my God. He also comes off as phony, doesn't he? I agree with that, John. He comes off as, if we met him in person, he feels like someone who has skeletons in the closet. Guys, I present my skeletons. I carry them in front of me. Here are my skeletons. Would you like to look at them? This is the skull. Here's the backbone. And then we have a femur bone. I have this. I don't hide shit. That's what this channel is. It's 100% authentic. Probably more so than almost any channel, even on YouTube, period. Everyone else pulls back. We're on here doing MMT Gets Freaky, talking about pole shifts and Planet X and crazy shit, because I don't care. But that's authentic. I don't know if it's real, but I'm going to be authentic about it, at least present the material. Stuckmann's like, what can I say that's going to be inoffensive to as many people as possible? I don't know who that is. Hey, 5,000. Listen, it's still more than me. It's more than me. Okay, we're going to continue with Stuckmann. Trust me. I want to mention, obviously, MadameWeb. If you missed the breaking box office show this morning, 15.2 million is terrible. I mean, guys, this is way under. When you look at, remember how we all destroyed Morbius at $39 million. This is 15. This is roughly a little more than a third of Morbius for 3 days. The 6th day is going to be like 26. This is a total bomb. Dakota Johnson is in big trouble. And I'll tell you, this is what we do here on this channel. And I thought about it today. I was talking to somebody and I said, you know what I really should be? It's not a studio head, because God knows I couldn't get anything done in that environment. I would come in and say, you're fired, you're fired. No, you can't fire that person because they are a protected class. I'm like, I don't give a shit. They're terrible. Get them out of here. They're doesn't matter. They're out. Erick, you can't. I told you they're fired. Don't argue with me. They're out. I can't do that. So what I figured I should really be is an agent, because I can promise you this. I would have told Dakota Johnson not to make this movie. I would have said, do not make this movie, because if you make this movie, this is going to be the biggest mistake you have ever made in your career, because you have to know it's MCU Sony, not MCU Marvel, MCU Sony. And as such, you can't tell her to make the movie, because now, you ready for this? Now she's in big trouble, because watch this. This is funny. These are all the things that Dakota Johnson said during her press tour for MadameWeb. I'm not going to play all of them. And by the way, thank you to Heroes Unbound for finding all these. I love when someone does the work for me and then I just use it, because we're all a little lazy, aren't we? I'm going to skip that one. She's only watched 4% of Marvel movies. I don't know how she came up with that number, but there it is. She also said she get an Oscar for her stunt driving. That's not good. Nepo baby stuff, no. Here it is. This is the one I want to show you. This is fantastic. Listen to this from Kelly and Mark, not Kelly and Regis or Kelly and whoever. And it's now Kelly and her husband, I guess. Let's listen to what Dakota Johnson talked about with MadameWeb with Kelly and Mark.
So you're a part of the Marvel universe.
I know.
No, she's not. It's Sony Mark. See, this is why I can't watch this shit. Kelly and Mark don't know anything. Look at their faces. Yeah, you're part of the MCU. They don't even know. They get paid. Kelly probably gets 15 to 20 million a year, and she doesn't even know her shit. You put me in that chair, I'm like, Dakota, you're kind of in the MCU. Not really, because it's Sony. You know that, right? And then the audience, but what the hell's happening here? Which is more interesting, right? That. Why? Just put me on a show and I'll literally ask these celebrities shit like that. Listen to this, though. It gets worse.
They got, now you know what that means.
What does it mean?
You're going to be doing like 35 films.
No, she's not. She's going to do one. Maybe she's in Craven, and that, I guess, counts as two in some kind of scene. One scene. She is not going to be in 35 Marvel movies.
Employment for the rest of your life.
Definitely not career employment for the rest of her.
Literally for the rest
So, listen,
of your life.
we talk about Dakota Johnson for a moment. Is it okay if we do that? She's just so low key. She's so just like, right? I like her. I think she's good at what she does when she does her. But if you ask her, by the way, I forgot to send Menzel the link. He's like watching the stream going, I can't get on. I'm going to send Menzel the link while I talk. When you look at her, she's limited, right? She has to be in a box, and here she has to amp up what she does. And when she's unable to do that, the whole film suffers. So here she is, she's not even having fun. Kelly's so cringe, isn't she? Carlos, you can't say these things about Gen Z when your generation spends inordinate amounts of times complaining about everything. They are a bunch of peas. They are totally. It's the weakest generation I've ever seen. They are so sad. Can I tell you? I want to say this because in a minute we're going to get to the virtue signaling knobs, which is the entire generation, Generation Z. Generation Z, you're pathetic. You are spineless, and sooner or later, you're going to come to the realization that there's no fucking place like a safe place. You have to exist in the world, and people are going to say nasty shit about you, and you deal. And you don't get special privileges because of anything. I'm not going to give you privileges for a single thing. You're a person, I'm a person, end of discussion. That's it. But not Gen Z. I'm gonna show you the tweet, but I got to continue with Dakota Johnson. Then I'm going to send this to Scott's like watching, going, "Are you ever going to bring Scott? I promise you're coming on. Just give me 1 second. Let me eject out of this and go down and find at least one more that's longer. It'll buy me time to send. Here we go. Okay, this is the time where she, 34 seconds. She's talking about. No, that's not good. God, where's a good one? I need. Here it is. Here it is. You ready?
You might be aware there was a line from the trailer that went sort of viral. Do you remember that?
What was it?
It was the line that says, "He was in the Amazon with my mum when she was researching spiders right before she died." Do you remember that going viral?
Why did that go viral?
I think it went viral because out of context, people were just like, "What does this mean?"
She's so boring.
Did you catch that at all?
She almost feels like out of
Somebody brought this up, and I have no idea what it's about.
There were lots of memes because I think
one of the terrible lines of dialogue
just
in
out of the context
MadameWeb.
of it. It was just a very.
But isn't any sentence out of context out of context?
What? What is she even saying at this point? Hold on.
Yeah, very true.
What a silly thing.
There was just lots of bits that were like, "Oh, that and that."
I will. In her defense, can I say this? In her defense, those things are the worst. I've been in those from the interview standpoint. I interviewed Ben Affleck for Argo, and he was not having it. He was so low energy. He was in there. He looked like he was hungover when I talked to him. It was in Boston, and he's sitting there and he's half awake. And I'm like, shit, I've got to do this interview, and he's not excited. And it's like I got to like come up with something that is more interesting than obviously Argo, blah blah blah. The general shit. So I said, and I knew that he liked to gamble. So I said, Ben, I know that you like to, play with odds and stuff. I didn't say gamble, but I said, so what are the odds that Argo wins Best Picture? And he goes, oh, and he answered it. And he said, I don't think about those things. And I go, okay, that's cool. And then they go, then the guy, here's what happens. When you're in the room, there's someone behind the celebrity and they have a hand up and they're like 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, whatever. They give you like the minute and then the second and you're out. And as I'm walking out, Affleck, who was like in a coma, like Chris Stuckmann, the entire call back, and then he looks at me, he looks up at his chair, and he goes, "That was a good question." Well, thanks for nothing. Now that I'm leaving the room, Affleck. But yeah, these guys it's kind of like it's a tough thing. It's not easy to be on the other end asking those questions. And Dakota Johnson, we have Menzel. I'm going to get him in 1 second. Is that it's not easy. It's not an easy situation to be getting those questions asked to you. Let's see if I have one more from Dakota Johnson. Okay, here, this is short. This is 19 seconds.
I ran into Lizzie Olsen in the hotel lobby and spoke to her about it for a bit.
Elizabeth Olsen.
And that was helpful. She said she had a great time and seemed very relaxed about it.
Because she's made like how many hundreds of millions? She's probably made 50, 75 million, Elizabeth Olsen, off this. Wouldn't you think? Off the whole Marvel all that time? I don't have the numbers in front of me. Can I just say one more time as Menzel's about ready to join us that Elizabeth Olsen is the most drop-dead gorgeous woman I've ever seen in my entire life. Ever. I mean, literally, my jaw hit the floor. I looked like that. What was the old cartoons where the eyes pop out? And now, that was me talking to Elizabeth that night. I'll never forget. It's one of those nights. Here he comes, Scott Menzel, everybody. Welcome to the show. Have you ever talked to Elizabeth Olsen? Tell me you have, because she's so hot. She's so hot. Tell the people she's hot.
She is very, very attractive. She's an attractive woman.
Can I ask you a question? Is she curvy? You didn't think I was going to go there. Oh no, I won't do it. I'm not going to do it to you. She's not curvy. She's
not.
Wow.
No.
She's all that. And as we used to say as kids,
And a bag of chips.
a bag of chips. Oh my God, so true. Here's the question. We'll get into MadameWeb because I know we're going to talk about the movie. It's not a good film. Is Dakota Johnson's career over now?
No, of course not. I mean, if it wasn't
play
over,
along, Scott. Play along.
You think her career is over? When has she ever had anything good? I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it.
Well, she was good in. Hold on. What shit? There was something. She was. I don't know. That's a great. Oh my God.
Which one? 50 Shades 1,
No,
2, 3.
no. It was the best thing about that film because Jamie was terrible. He was not a good actor in that movie, right? Okay, so she was the best. But you're right. I don't know if I've ever seen her in a film where she's great. She's the same character in every movie.
Yeah, she's the girl next door type. I mean, she gets away with. I mean, she's kind of like adorkable, right? Like that's the way I would describe her. When
Suspiria, that's good. She got
no,
but at least it's something. It's something you can work with. It's Suspiria. It's more interesting than Peanut Butter Falcon, which I know you like that movie. Yes. I think it's a sweet movie. But I don't think I like a more of a weird film like Suspiria. Not too weird, but just weird enough.
You like that movie, Suspiria? Really?
I did, yes, because you know why? There's occasionally, I know I make no sense sometimes, where I like weird films that you don't think I'd like, and then I hate other films that are weird that you think that guy's going to hate it. Bad Times at the El Royale, there's another one. Maybe, but again,
maybe really.
The Lost Daughter? Bodie, you're that's it. Bodie's in timeout. Bodie's in every time we bring Bodie on, he fucks the show up. Bodie, stop doing it. That's not Cha-Cha Real Smooth. You didn't like the movie, right? You thought it was okay.
Cha-Cha Real Smooth was okay. She was miscast in that movie.
Yeah, I agree. As the mom, she's not a mom.
Yeah, she was totally miscast.
Not old enough.
I mean, no, not old enough, and she's also shouldn't. No, never mind.
Okay, when you look outside 50 Shades of MadameWeb, utilize her with a great script. She's a fantastic actress. Kevin, give us an example. Kevin's smart. I mean, Kevin, tell us, is it going to be El Royale? What is it going to be? But listen, here's the reality. This definitely dents her career. If it doesn't end it, Scott, it definitely damages it.
Well, let's ask the better question then. Does it damage all the other talented actresses who were in this movie?
No, because they're not the face. They're not the face. She's the face. You're going to say Sydney Sweeney and the other two? No, no. It's Dakota Johnson because she's the star. That's a great question.
Here's the weird thing about the movie. I felt bad for everybody who was attached to this movie besides that guy who played the villain because that guy's just awful and everything.
Yeah. Oh, he's really bad. This is a Razzie performance by that dude.
Yeah, that guy's just terrible. But I will say that I actually like the movie is actually kind of frustrating to watch. Because there's ideas in there that are really, really good, but they just don't know how.
Name one.
Well, no, I'm talking about like this idea of like the girls coming together and kind of having the Spider-Woman thing and kind of all that stuff is interesting. The movie itself doesn't know what to do with it.
Yes, but we've seen this before, right? Where the chosen one is coming.
Let me ask you a question. I said this, but I'm very curious if you feel the same way. Doesn't the movie feel like it was like halfway completed? Something happened, they stopped it, and then they just pieced pieces of the movie together?
Well, I will say, okay, that's a great point, and I will say this. Having seen a recent Sony movie, did you end up seeing that Adam Driver, what was the name of that movie?
Oh my God, 65.
65. So if you haven't seen 65, the first thing I said when I came out of 65, Sony Pictures, is that this is a studio meddled film. You can see that the whole thing was compressed. Whatever they had shot at this, length at, let's say, 2 hours, they brought it down to like 130, 135, and there's things missing. The whole film just feels like it was compacted, and it's terrible. God, it's a bad film. The studio definitely did that. So I think there is some studio meddling here with MadameWeb, but how do you answer for those schizophrenically directed and edited action scenes? They're unwatchable. It's very much like The Gray Man. Who's teaching these directors between the two? Who's making these edits? Because they're terrible.
So I will tell you, I don't know if you agree with this, but this feels certain parts of this feel like the what's the guy who fucked up Justice League, the original cut that was released in theaters?
Oh,
Josh Whedon.
Yeah,
The Josh Whedon version,
canceled.
where like there was just certain things where like you can feel like somebody was making this one movie and then this another scene came in and it felt like somebody else was touching this movie. I mean, that last 30 minutes of the film, that fight scene you told me about when I walked in, when I went to go see it, that's where like I really lost me, because I was like sitting there, I'm like, this all feels like it was reshoots. And like there was just like just a whole bunch of like special effects overload. And like I really want to know what the original ending was.
Well, I mean, what else would it be? They got the girls together.
We don't know. We'll never. But I'm talking about the original
the fight scene.
That scene. Yeah, that scene.
The fight scene on top of the building with the giant Pepsi sign. Talk about some product placement.
Oh my God! I love the fact that everyone was talking about how she can't open the can. Dakota Johnson can't open the can because there's two scenes in the movie where she just kind of awkwardly looks at the soda can and she never opens it.
Oh no! So I know she's holding the Pepsi can. So like, there's one product placement.
There's twice. There's
twice. And then also, of course, on the roof with the giant Pepsi sign. Here's the question I had too. There's so many plot holes in this movie. One of the stupid things. These are the things that can't happen in the film. When she falls in the water, right off the sign, the sign falls on her and it breaks apart. How is the sign still neon in the ocean? There's a giant like neon S. So I'm like, how is it still neon? It's in the fucking water. It's a gun. It's a dead light. These are things that, and how does she get on the plane to Peru when she's the most wanted person in the world? I'm there's people defending this movie, Scott, and we've talked about this. There's certain times when you just don't want to, and where I'm going to go with this, where you shouldn't be praising a film super highly or even defending it. And where it is for me, it's You and the Whale. I go, God, Scott, just don't talk about the whale ever. I know you like the movie, but I'm like, don't do it. This is much worse though. This is such a bad film. There are people out there going, it's not that bad. Why do people do that? Do you have an answer for that? Why do these people feel like it's their cause to say it's not that bad and everyone lay off and stop being so mean? It's weird.
I mean, I thought it was weird because I saw that there was that female superhero narrative that came up again about this. Like the only reason why people hate this movie is because it's female led.
Oh yeah.
Which is like, no, that has nothing to do with. I mean, do people also not realize how are we at the point now where we can actually talk about how bad Venom was and Venom 2?
Oh, Venom, they're both terrible. 100%. Yes. Yeah.
So it's like this.
But audiences liked them.
I know.
Because of Tom Hardy. I think Tom Hardy's a star. It doesn't matter. Even he's so weird. You just want to watch Tom Hardy because he's such a freak.
But this movie's like in a weird way, like I kind of get like the joy of watching this movie because it's kind of like a beautiful disaster. like I could totally see how like people would actually appreciate this, like in the same way of The Room or something like that, just to sort of watch and appreciate for how bad it is.
The villain, especially.
But anyone who says like this is a good movie or like there's remnants of a good movie, like I'm like, no, sorry.
No.
It's tonally all over the place too. I mean, listen. Oh my God, the tone of this. I mean, she feels like she's in a totally different movie.
That's a director, though. Here's the thing, though. So that I still think that comes back to direction. And you haven't seen One Love yet. In the strength of Green, and you look at his performances he got out of King Richard, and then now at One Love, he is an actor's director, and you have to have that talent to be able to get the performance out. And of course, the director has to have a very clear vision of the film. And I think to your point, she probably didn't have a clear vision of her film. She signed on thinking this is my first feature. I've done all this television, and then oh shit. And that's the thing is like she was probably in and over her head.
Well, I'm also wonder, here's the thing. So, I know you were showing clips of Dakota Johnson in interviews. And I mean, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's just be what you just said. Let's just dive into what you just said. If the director didn't really have a clear vision of what she was making, right? It's very hard for actors to kind of, be able to talk about the movie. I mean,
I'm laughing at this comment. Go ahead. I'm just laughing because it's so true. The diners. Go ahead, keep going.
Keep going. No.
We'll do that in a second. No, keep going. Then we're going to talk about that scene because it's so great.
But I'm just saying, like, I also like because like people were giving Sydney Sweeney a lot of shit this weekend too, because she was posting pictures like with the costume and everything. She's like, this was only in the movie for 2 minutes. I almost wonder if it was in the movie more and it got cut out. Right? Like, it's like, we don't know. We'll never know. Right?
No, we'll never know.
This is not going to be like the Snyder cut where there's going to be 17 like stories of like, release the real version. Like, no one's going to give a shit about this movie after it bombed.
It'll be a cult classic. No, it will be a cult classic. By the way, I'm going to rib you again more than Argyle. I'm savaging him again. I am whenever he doesn't know when it's coming. There comes the left. Wham. But let's talk about the dancing scene. Can we just do that?
What, the Britney Spears scene?
Yes. So this is where there's so many moments in this movie. That's why I think it will be a cult classic. Like, perfect, exactly. Spidey Sensei, I'm watching the movie, and these girls are told, go to the diner. They go against Dakota's, said, hey, listen, don't go anywhere, stay in the woods. They go to the diner, and not just sit there and eat. The boys in the corner are like, hey, they're making googly eyes at him, and they go to see him. And then you cut back to Dakota Johnson. I think, was she in Peru? Wherever she was in the cab. And then they're on top of the table dancing to Britney Spears' Toxic. I'm like, what? Who said that was a good decision? Like, how do you even think that's a good call?
It's another problem with the movie is that the character motivations don't make any sense, because if you go by the rationale of Sydney Sweeney's character, right? The whole time, she's always like the nervous one. She's the one who's kind of like, oh, we shouldn't do this. We should stay behind. We shouldn't go there. And like, she's the one who's like on the table doing the most. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, what the
and then for those of you who haven't had the honor of seeing this film and certainly the privilege, when it's happening, Dakota Johnson is able to view into the future, right? So she sees it ahead of time, so she can act before it happens to stop it, right? It's kind of, what was that show that was on with Kyle Chandler where he reads the news early and he goes and tells people don't leave the house? Sunday edition or something. Whatever. It's like she's a version of that. She's a clairvoyant. And then so as they're dancing to Toxic, she's in the cab driving like a maniac across New Jersey trying to get there while Toxic plays. It's so bad. That's one of the worst scenes I've ever seen. Ever. And people are defending this movie, Scott. This will be the death of a lot of critics. They're over. It's done. There's no return from this. Okay, I'm gonna play a clip. This goes back to, and I know you heard me talk about Stuckmann off the top, and I want to get your take on that. But I'm gonna play a clip here from Tina Fey, and this is what we talk about all the time about you. When you're in Hollywood, you have to watch what you say, and you have to have yourself basically self-edit. You can't
I don't think so, honey.
Give me 1 second. You can't say certain things. If you do, you're in trouble. Listen to what she has to say here about a dude. He's an actor. You've seen this guy. He apparently has opinions about movies, and listen to what she has to say about that.
I don't think so, honey. Bowen Yang giving his real opinions about movies on this podcast. I regret to inform you that you are too famous now, sir.
I know.
What's going to happen? You having a problem with Saltburn? Quiet luxury. Keep it to yourself, because what are you going to do when Emerald Fennell calls you about her next project where you play Carrie Mulligan's coworker in the bridal section of Harrods, and then Act 3 takes a sexually violent turn, and you have to pretend to be surprised by that turn. You hang out with Ariana and SpongeBob now. That is your life. Okay? And Matt Rogers, I can tell you got about 1 year left, and then learn from my mistakes.
So this is exactly, and this goes back to what's her name with Jennifer Lopez. You can't be like me or you and have these opinions and still work in Hollywood, because you're going to run into someone, you're going to work with somebody, and that's getting back to Stuckmann. Let's tie it back to Stuckmann. Stuckmann now wants to be a director. That's why he's not savaging movies, because he thinks if his film's successful, he's going to get a call from a studio, and then he can't, so then he effectively can't be a good critic. Right, Scott? So that's, if you want to be a good critic, you can't have any ties to anything. You have to be your own, basically a lone wolf.
I mean, listen, I've known Chris Stuckmann for a very, very long time. I don't know if people even know this about me, but I started off as a writer, and then I went into YouTube very, very early on when Grace Randolph was just getting started, when the Smos had Smoville, if anyone remembers that, Jeremy Johns, Chris Stuckmann. There was even Catherine Reitman, yes, Jason Reitman's daughter, had a YouTube channel.
You told me that. I never saw it. Yeah.
For a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember this. And I remember Chris Stuckmann was like part of that group, very much like the Jeremy Johns and the Smos, of like, we're the average day guys who don't really know movies, but we're just judging them like a regular average person is. And I remember very early on, Chris Stuckmann got a lot of shit because like he didn't see movies like, he was talking about American Pie, and he didn't see Animal House. And like people were like, how do you not know what Animal House is? How have you not seen it? But, Chris Stuckmann has clearly gone through a lot of transitioning, even as a person. I mean, he used to be a very, very like kind of like straightforward, very like buttoned up kind of individual. He, I forgot which church he belonged to, but he belonged to a church. He kind of broke out of that church because I think his girlfriend made him realize that it was a little bit of a cult, and he broke out of it. And then he sort of kind of went into this filmmaking mode that he's been on for, I want to say it's almost been a decade at this point. And I saw this clip that you're talking about to kind of tie it back. And it's interesting because you're 100% right, Eric. It's the fact that like, we've learned this. It's like, you cannot say something bad about people in Hollywood if you're starting to have a career, because he used to do this thing where he used to have, people use shit on you for kind of going all in on movies. He used to do these things where he used to review movies, like awful movies. And he used to take like great pride in doing it. It was like a segment that he used to do. And now, because he's dived into like filmmaking himself, and he also knows a taste of it, right? Because he did a couple short films. A lot of people online made fun of him. They mocked him for how bad they were. So he kind of got a little sense of like what it feels like to be a director, becoming a filmmaker. And he got a little taste of like how much it hurts to be like at the center of criticism. And now, I mean, I looked up his feature film. I think he has Keith David and 2 or 3 other somewhat notable actors in it. And like you said, he wants it to go to a festival. He wants it to play, and he wants to meet other filmmakers, and he doesn't want to have the rap.
And that's, you've been there. Let's be honest. You've been there. You have to, as head of the Hollywood Creative Alliance, you can't, people say, well, you hate a movie, therefore it's not going to do well at the HCA Awards, the Astro Awards. And that's not true, because the members vote, not you. So you can't even have an opinion. People come after you for having an opinion.
No, and I mean it's so funny. So does everyone on your stream? I mean, I'm happy to tell this story at this point.
Go for
it. Does everyone know at the stream about like why Erick had to get removed from HCA? Does everyone know the story?
I told you the story. I sent the Poor Things thing out, and then all the spineless bitch ass members of HCA were like, "Oh, Weber's out of control, saying the movie this and that." And I said, well, "Then fine, I'm out. I'm done. I have no interest in being part of any group." And that's because I'm not going to be told how I have to operate in a space. And for most critics, they don't, this, they don't want to give up the parties. They don't want to give up the trip to LA, the 5 nights at the Four Seasons with Wine and Dine with the Stars. I don't give a shit about any of that. In fact, Scott, I got invited to like a bunch of things the last week, including the Kodak Film Awards, which is a big deal. It's like, that's a big deal. I love film. I don't even know if I'm going to go. Maybe, maybe not. But the point is like, I don't care. Like everyone else will be like, oh my God, the Kodak Film Awards. Hey, I'm going to, I'm like, you know what? If I want to go on Monday night, I'm not even going to worry about it, because that's not how I operate, but that's not how these other people operate. They operate like, what am I going to get invited to? What swag am I going to get? What star am I going to meet? I don't care about any of that. We care about the movies. That's it.
Yeah, and I mean the reason I brought this up is that like, it's unfortunately like this level of like business, and I'm with Erick on it. I'm just gonna go out on the record and say this. I think it's bullshit that like people try to censor people who have an opinion, and they view that if you don't like a movie, it's your right to not like that movie. And if you feel that way and you can back up your points with valid arguments, that's completely fine. I don't understand why that's an issue, but we live in a time, as what we're talking about with Stuckmann, is that it's really just sad because people are like so afraid to say anything because they're afraid to lose access. And the decision that actually had to happen with that is not something that I wanted to do. It wasn't a decision that I personally would make. It comes down to being a business decision where you essentially go, okay, this is a business that I'm running. Do I want all these people to be impacted by this business, by this?
Yes.
Or do I have to make the call? And it was really awkward for me to do this. And it made me pissed off that I had to do it. But it's again, and and Eric knows this. We've talked about this a lot. It's not something that's personal for me because he knows that I agree with him and I'm on the same side as he is. But like, it's a weird situation.
Well, listen here. I get it. Here's the reality. I don't want to be part. I have no interest in being part of anything. And that's exactly why I said I'm out. I'm not going to listen to. And the funny thing is, I'm going to be 100% unvarnished as always. The majority, 95+% of these people that even have shit to say about me amount to zero in this space. And I can't even say that any more succinctly than that. They move the needle zero because they have zero credibility. Nobody cares about their opinions because they don't even have real opinions. They're not real, authentic people, and that's why you win, because people watch and they go, that guy's real, this is real, and you can't be, as someone just said, I can't be bought. I have no interest in it. I have 0%, and the people that appreciate it come into my DMs all the time in the industry and say, you are fierce as hell. And we really admire that and respect that. And these other people won't even know what that's ever about. They never they'll never experience that because they don't have the fucking spine. That's the difference.
No, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I probably should not be talking about this, but I mean, Eric and I always have realistic conversations, very honest and transparent conversations with one another. I mean, if people ever wanted to know, like, over the last year, why was Scott Menzel not really champion in a lot of movies? Was that there was a period of time after 2022 where I was told that I should not really champion things, that I should not be a fan of Kristen Stewart, that I should not be a fan of movies, and I can't talk and express myself because I run an organization that supports movies and supports filmmakers and supports talent. And it's complete bullshit because, like Eric said, it ultimately comes out to that. Sometimes my opinions line up with some of the wins. Sometimes they don't. But no one ever focuses on when they don't. They always focus on when they do. It's like, oh my God. So it's like, this past year is a great example. Like, I know you loved John Wick. I mean, I didn't really like John Wick Chapter 4 all that much.
That's like wrong, but it's okay. That's your opinion.
Okay, but that's my opinion, right? But like, no one goes and go, oh, what about that?
Yeah.
Like it's just all these like factors that like it drives me nuts. Or like when Mandalorian won Best Streaming Drama Series. I don't even like Star Wars, but like no one wants to look at those factors. Everyone is so hyperbolic. They love to just kind of like say what they think, or but they have no evidence to back anything up. Everyone just likes to kind of continuously be like against someone whose opinions they don't align with. This morning, did you see what happened? You didn't.
Nope.
This person already fucking blocked you.
What?
So this morning, I comment on the fact, like, why is everyone so surprised that Oppenheimer is like winning all these things, right? It's like, duh, it's like been in this conversation since July. Like anyone who knows the space knows that Oppenheimer was going to win stuff.
Of course. Yeah.
And this one fucking guy came into my thing and goes, "This is not true." Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, prove this, and then he literally like he unfollowed me and then sent out a tweet basically going, "Keep being a loser, Scott Menzel, because you're
tell me who it is. No, tell me who it is.
It's that Peter Rabbit, whatever the fuck his name
is.
It's yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter.
These people are let me can I it's Scott, I'm sorry, you know me, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
These people are so fucking unremarkable in real life. I can't put it, I'm telling you, I cannot say this any more succinctly and any more savagely than that. These are people that have never done anything of importance in their entire existence, and yet they find it through some pathetic bitch whining stuff on Twitter. Oh, movie. Listen, get out, experience the world, do things for real, and be a real human being, and then people will actually maybe listen to what you have to say. But these people, and they also have these giant egos. Listen, Scott, you know this. Anyone who's ever met me says, I'm not like that. I'm as normal. I come out, let's have a drink. I'm not that guy. What you get here is exactly what you get at a bar. It's the same shit. And it may be probably low key because here I crank it up. But the point is these people aren't even real. They're not real human beings, and they've never done anything, and yet they're the ones who are bitching and pretending to be something when they're really absolutely a big fat 0 on the Richter scale. 0 is what they amount to.
Yeah, I mean,
like Peter fucking Rabbit, whoever this guy is.
I mean,
I'm sure he hides behind an avatar because he looked like Jabba the Hutt. He's a total dweeb, and he probably is. He's a total incel. No woman would ever, or man, look at the guy. That's what we typically are. Sorry, it's just the reality of it. I don't know what to tell you. Scott's like, what show did I come on?
No.
You know me, when I decide to go off, it's always going to be on point.
It's completely fine. I mean, I think it's really sad being in this space. I don't know if we've ever talked about this, Eric. How many years have you been doing film criticism? How many years?
10.
Okay. I've been doing
started
this
in 2011. So what is that?
I've been doing this for 23 years.
Wow, you got me by 10 years.
23 years. I started in 2001. And I mean, to watch the transition occur from the start of like websites and all that stuff, and then back then, like I'm dating myself now, but like in 2001, like there was like a dozen film sites, right? Like Joe Blow and, a couple of those sites. And now like, then everything shifted over to the YouTube, and then it shifted back over to writing for a while, and then mommy bloggers came into play, and now we have Now we have influencers and everything. And the reality of everything is that everyone is on this constant quest to seek out celebrities, to be invited to parties,
true.
To not really like have a true opinion. I mean, and that's why, like, I commented on your thing the other day.
Hold on. I gotta stop for just 1 second. This is my boy Strange Harbor's Jeff Zeng. That bitch blocked me first. The reason I blocked him is because he was the idiot. He was the guy who sent the tweet out like, this guy's taking pictures in movies. Like, what? This Jeff Zeng. If you ever come to LA, I will meet you up and I'll tell you in person that you're the biggest loser I've ever met in my life. In person, to your face. So feel free. Come out here, Jeff. I'm waiting for you, big boy, because you are a nobody. You're a nobody and you're a pretentious bitch. Remember that. Always remember that. Scott, continue.
I don't even remember all I was ultimately saying.
You watched something this morning. You said you saw something this morning.
No. It bothers me that we live in a time where everyone is so afraid of just being honest about something. I don't like, it's like this stuff is so forgettable, it's so disposable. Like there's literally hundreds of movies that come out a year. Everyone's so afraid of like saying what they really feel about something because they might meet Pedro Pascal, and
who cares? Doesn't matter.
He doesn't matter.
And that's the thing
is, Pascal movie.
And this loser, this Strange Harbor's dweeb, look him up on Twitter. Uses the same picture because these people aren't even they're not even like, they're AI versions of something. They think that they're being cool by coming after me for some weird reason. Why are these people obsessed, Scott? Why are they obsessed with what I do or what you do? I come on and I attack people for being shills. Okay. That's okay. That's being a shill. These people go, this person's bad for having an opinion. That's not the same thing. If I would expect someone to attack me if I was a shill. right, Scott? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be angry at that person if they said I was a shill, because I'd be like, I am a shill. I can't admit. But they're not doing it. They're like, I don't like that you have an opinion and you're aggressive. That's too bad. Jeff, I got news for you. That's how it goes, bro. You wouldn't know what that's like because all you say is the parroted talking points for film Twitter. That's all you are. These people, that's all they are. They want to be part of the hive mind film Twitter dweeb society, and I have no interest in that. I will decide for myself what these things are. I don't want to be part of, certainly not film Twitter, ever. Not a single even step into that space. I want nothing to do with it, Scott.
No, I mean, I completely understand where you're coming from. And I mean, the reality of everything is that people who actually have opinions now are sort of, looked upon as people who are bad. I mean, it's just... Because
Jeff is a member, just like maybe he's Gen Z, maybe he's young. It's not nice. Jeff, you're a loser, dude. Just know that. I'm not going to worry about... I don't worry. I've never thought about ever... When we do the shill thing, it's like you do it. Why are these people, Scott, we've talked about this. Why are these people obsessed? Why do they have such a problem with somebody saying vicious things about a movie? Like, poor things, Emma Stone should fire her agent. Why is that so? Why is that so? Oh my God, I can't believe you just attacked Emma. You don't know Emma Stone. None of you do. Zero of you do. Okay? Doesn't matter. Why are you defending Emma Stone for me saying she should fire her agents? There's something off. You're mentally unbalanced. It's 100%. If you worry about that stuff, you need to find a hobby. Find something that gets you, something productive outside of this, because you're not being productive. And we're talking about movies. That's what we're doing, Scott.
Listen, that I have my own set of stalkers, some of which who literally block me with their main accounts and have created dummy accounts to kind of constantly watch everything that I do so they can
It's weird.
Freaking screenshot it and send it to somebody else, and then someone else sends me a tweet, their tweet about it, and I'm kind of like, let it go. Like, it's like we had a disagreement 8 years ago. Time to move on. Time to move on.
These people,
a life.
But they don't have lives. That's the thing. They don't. This is how they find their meaning. It's sad. It's like, dude, just stay in your space.
No, but it's
stay in your
funny.
space.
I mean, it's like between you, me, and Sasha Stone.
Man,
I swear, it's like
because we're all opinionated. It's because we're all opinionated. But Barry, welcome to the channel. I am going to attack you right now. Fire her agent. It doesn't, because here's the thing. It doesn't. I don't care if she wins 1,000 Oscars. I don't want to be associated with a film that essentially presents a woman who has the brain of a baby having sex. That's the truth. Do you know how many people have told me that, by the way, Barry? I'm not the only person. There's a billion. No one wants to discuss this. That Poor Things is an abhorrent film. And I'm sorry, if I'm an agent, I'm going to make sure that my clients are going to take part in things that I don't find disturbing. Like totally, I don't want to be, Scott, we talked about this before. I don't want to watch films that are anti-humanity. I don't want to watch them, and I don't want my clients to take part in them. And if Emma Stone wants to go down that road with Yorgos, the weird ass, child-brained having sex, that's her decision. I'm just telling you, I lost a fuck ton of respect for her, because you can't. How do you? If I did that, you're telling me, how people. Here's the thing, Scott. Think about this. If the roles reversed, all of a sudden I did something that even had anything that was even in the realm of what Poor Things is. If I did that, I would be canceled. They'd be, no, Emma Stone, we're going to celebrate you. So Barry, it doesn't matter. I don't care if she has 17 Oscars.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I always say this, and I just come back to this, and I've been saying this as my mission statement, so to speak, is that I think people literally forget that film is an art form, and therefore it's subjective. I don't understand why people people can like what they want to like, people can hate what they want to hate, but like the fact that we have so many people who act like they're the person who made the film, or they're the ones who put the money behind it. Like
Well,
they're so obsessed with it. It's bizarre.
Well, I will say when I come on these streams, though, you've seen me when I like the Poor Things one, where I just savage a film and go crazy. Because here's the thing, I think we've talked about this a lot too.
Because they make you angry. Because
Well,
I get it.
Because you know why? Because we're here in Hollywood, and I say this all the time. If the studios would just send the script and let me look. Let me see the film. And I know what you're all saying. Oh, well, I can. No, you can't. You can't do it. I have a track record. I've proven it over and over. What did Warner Brothers, Scott, you saw this. What did Warner Brothers do? I gave them the idea for Tenet. I have the receipts. Scott, you saw it. The receipts, the tweets, it's there. So don't tell me I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I can analyze a script. I can tell you this is not happening. If they would have sent me the MadameWeb script, I said, we're not doing this. This makes no sense. No way. And especially in the budgets, too. It's why I went off on Beau is Afraid. You don't give $35 million for that film. I don't care. You just don't do it. And that, I'm allowed to feel that way. I'm not, that's constructive because I'm like, don't make the movie. Like, you see, like that's where it's about a passion for the films.
Yeah, I mean, I also, here's the problem that I have in a nutshell too with the industry right now, is that we used to live in when I was growing up watching movies, is that there was filmmakers, if you wanted to start and you wanted to kind of climb the ropes and whatnot, you would make independent films. A lot of people would make independent films.
That's where the Russos came from.
Sort of take a long time to kind of get to where you're at. And then you would have a movie that kind of comes out, and then you would finally get your moment in the spotlight. But then if you had a movie like Eternals, you would be like, okay, you're done now. You go back to making your little independent films where you can go shoot in the middle of nowhere, and everything looks beautiful because you're shooting by a mountain. And make stories about people riding horses. Like that's what you made. That was really good for what it was, but you can't make Eternals. You can't make a superhero movie. Like, and it's just crazy because we just give the pass to everyone now. Like these filmmakers who don't even earn their stripes anymore. I mean, it's the same, the mentality of what you always complain about. It's just like, everyone's like, but I want it, but I want it, but I want it. And it's like, you gotta earn it. You gotta earn it, man. You gotta prove it too. Like it's like you can't just do one or two movies and then all of a sudden you're handed a franchise. Like the dude who ruined Jurassic. Listen, that guy. What's his name? Colin Trevorrow. Oh my god, I fucking love Safety Not Guaranteed. That movie's fucking awesome. And I remember I was there at South by.
Not an action film director.
It's not. Great movie. Yep. And then it's like these fucking movies are terrible. Well, and like they just keep giving them stuff. It's like, no more. Like
remember this though, Scott. It gets back to this and it goes back to critics too. Critics come into the space, they think they can review one movie. Oh, I'm the big film person. I've been doing it for 10 years, you for 20 plus, 13 years for me, whatever, and it's a long time. You have to prove yourself over time. It's not one or two. It takes over time. And if you look at my takes on films over the past decade plus, you're going to notice a trend where I'm on the right side of history. Now, you might disagree with Poor Things, but you're also, I promise you this, there's a lot of people who agree with me. It's not like I just randomly, I rarely have one film where you're like, you're the only guy. You're the only person who saw this or that. So you have to have a track record. And the other half is, reality is this, not everyone is talented at this. I've said it a million times. There's a lot of people who don't even do live streams. You know why? Because it's not easy. I'm not suggesting I'm great at it, but I know this. I'm not terrible. And there's a lot of people who don't even go there because they can't do it. So don't pretend you can do everything. You can't. I can't do everything. You have individual talents. And as filmmakers, same thing. Some directors are going to be good with an indie drama. Some are going to be good as an action film. David Leitch, right? And then you look at Chloe in the Nomadland writer space. That's where she is. You have to find your space, and that's where you need to exist. That's why a lot of these filmmakers kind of make the same film over and over. I have no problem with that. Dardenne brothers, their films are the same idea. They look the same, they breathe the same because that's what they do. That's their wheelhouse. You have to find your wheelhouse.
Oh yeah, like can you imagine if they gave like Kelly Reinhardt like Shazam 3? Like it's like
it would be better. Yeah. I mean, what could be better than anything better than yeah, exactly. She's great at First Cow, and I even like the last one, Showing Up.
The small little intimate movies where you follow 2 or 3 characters around. There's not much going on. Yep. Like that's just sort of like what it works. Those small slice of life little movies, and that's fine. But it's these filmmakers I know why they do it. I mean, at the end of the day, I know why they do it, right? Because they don't want to pay the people who do a great job with these movies. And they say, oh, you directed this movie and you got paid like next to nothing for it? Here, we're going to give you a little bit more of a bump and we're going to stick you with this thing. And then everyone's like, why wasn't this movie great? And it's like, it's the same thing. Like, Taika has been making the same movie on every scale.
100%. I go back to Boy. It's one of his first film. Yeah.
Oh my God. All it does is make the same movie. It's just like, it's a superhero movie, but it's really a Taika movie. It's really what we do in the shadows. Like, it's just like, that's all he does. It's the same thing over and over again. And after a while, it just doesn't work. I mean, he was lucky enough to kind of have a couple of hits, but now people are like, I'm sick of him. I'm tired. I'm burned out. I don't want this. You have to have these fresh perspectives. I mean, I know the person we always reference and we both like a lot is Lord and Miller, right? Because Lord and Miller, like, they always kind of switch it up. They try to do something
they're
different.
Brilliant. They're
Even
brilliant.
if it doesn't work,
Lines.
like they try to do something, whether
Experiment.
it's Strays or fucking Cocaine Bear. And I know we both have different. Yeah, exactly.
Well, they just produced that. They didn't even write it. So.
Yeah, but I mean, like, again, they sign on to stuff, right? I mean, it's like this is the reality of things, that they're involved in some way, shape, or form. But they always have this, like, but I love when you see things that filmmakers and producers that kind of take chances. I mean, people like people in the horror space are like kind of the filmmakers who just make horror. Like, after a while, it's like, okay, like, come on, do something new. And I think that's what it is. Like, as a filmmaker,
unless you're Ari Aster, then don't do something new. Just do what you were doing.
You have to kind of continuously evolve, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
There's so many people who just kind of stay stagnant in one particular genre.
Yes.
And then they try to do something else, and it's like just a total disaster because they can't get to anything. Like, they don't know how to focus on something else.
Okay, I'm gonna show you. Hold on, this is one I wanted to get to, and I'm gonna rail. Okay, God, I can't believe I got.
What are we doing, Chris Stuckmann?
No, we're not gonna do that. Here you go. Hold on. I'm gonna show you a tweet, and then I'm gonna get angry. Okay, just maybe turn down the volume. This is one that came the other day. I was on there, and these are the tweets that, honest to God, makes me want. This is what I'm talking about. These are the kind of tweets that your boy Strange Harbors, not your boy, our boy, sends. The kind of things like, here's my little virtue signaling bullshit tweet. You ready for this one? This one is unbelievable. Okay, hold on. Let me pull it up. All right, here it is. Let me read it to you. I still stand by everything I said during the Marvels era about how y'all will hype white male characters for doing the bare minimum, but fail to give women of color their flowers for giving amazing performances. This is and this is a Deadpool in the new trailer doing the gun flipping the magazines and all that shit. But who thinks, Ray? These people are broken. Ray, let me tell something. Ray, listen up, nice and tight here. Let me square up to the camera and tell you. You are mentally deranged. There is something wrong with you. No joke. This isn't a joke. You need help. You need to seek somebody who will get this kind of shit out of your brain, because nobody watches that on Deadpool and says, wow, I'm now going to connect it back to the Marvels, a shit film, and say, oh, you love Deadpool because it's a white character, but because we had women and women of color in this, then this was what? Like, Scott, it's broken. These people are fundamentally brain damaged. I'm not playing when I say that. They have been indoctrinated. I don't know what it is. There's a victimhood, and it's a patheticness. And I'm telling you, Ray, you're a sad human being, a really pathetic person, and you're making the world a worse place every moment you spread shit like that.
Sure. I mean, well said. My favorite thing with this is always when it goes back to, because you didn't like that movie, then so it's like, you make fun of me for this all the time as well, Eric, that, I love the first Wonder Woman. I kind of liked Wonder Woman 1984. I know. And I liked Captain Marvel. I
didn't mind Captain Marvel. I'm not going to lie to you.
So and then when I saw the Marvels, and then everybody's like, doesn't matter, you didn't like this one. It's like, why? Like, I literally like the 3 other movies with female-led superheroes. Like, now why? Now it's got to be this particular one? Like, what is going on in this world? Like, and who is like dictating what should be liked and what shouldn't be liked? I don't understand.
But I just don't. But also, I just think that it's like, I don't know who Ray is. I have no idea, but I guarantee he's like a Gen Z, right? And it's like, who, like Alex, I didn't even read the reply. I said everybody's like, what? Like, I just don't even understand how you form that tweet. Do you know? I know I'm a white guy. Says the white guy. But I don't understand how in your head you wake up and then you see this and you go, you know what? This is all about the Marvels. This is, you guys like this. You didn't like the Marvels, and it's because, of course, Deadpool's white. What? Like, who thinks like that? I mean, I've never thought like that in my. Again, I know I'm a white guy.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Did you notice that the back of this is 20th Century Studios? Then that clip.
Oh yeah, I did notice that.
That's the logo. That's still there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
It's
the
probably
Fox.
the 20th Century Fox. Yes.
But I just can't stand this thinking. I can't stand it. And if that makes me anti-woke or whatever you want to call it, then so be it. I'm not. But when it goes this far in one direction where I have to read that kind of shit, then I can't do it, man. I lose my mind.
By the way, Eric, did you notice I hate women?
Yeah, exactly.
Directors, as my background is all female driven.
Well,
so
listen, of course you do. Exactly. The virtue signaling. Rachel, hey, I wish some would be entertainment. Yeah, they're more entertainment reporters than critics. And someone asked us, who are some critics that you recommend? I mean, I told you there's only a few. There's very few. I think Dargis at the New York Times is very strong because I like her taste, and I also love that she's brilliant. She's very good. Obviously, go back to Siskel and Ebert. No question. I'm a Siskel guy. When I watched at the movies in every iteration, Siskel was the guy that I always aspired to be. Certainly, I think there's threads of Siskel with a much more aggressive nature, but it is what it is. Scott, who are your heroes when you think about like your favorite film critics, like 2 or 3?
I mean, I always had the same ones that you did, and I mean, still to this day, I appreciate him, Leonard Maltin.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Entertainment Tonight.
It's like you don't, and it's still like it's funny because I see him at his old age now, and he's still doing tributes. Like he was up at Santa Barbara giving out Robert Downey Jr. an award, and it just kind of goes to show you that man has probably disliked many a Robert Downey Jr. movie because he's not built that way, and he didn't care about being liked. He likes, like, I remember when he wrote the review for how much he hated The Star Is Born. Mm-hmm. The Lady Gaga one where everyone was like, this is great. He wrote a negative review for that. And I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. Here, let me just pull this clip up. I've never played it. And someone sent it to me. I want to thank Orist for sending me this clip. This is a very good clip. It's a perfect time to play this. So here comes my critic goat, and that's what I sent out as a tweet. This has been a while now. It's back in December. I never got it on the show. So here we go. Listen to what Siskel has to say about sticking to your initial evaluation, no matter what others may say about it.
Boy, do I remember this. It happened in October 1969, 1 month after I had become film critic of the Chicago Tribune. I was 21. I was 23. I went to see this film. I thought it was cute in spots, but overly cute. And I wrote a negative review. I left the typewritten pages on my desk. Remember those good old days? Yeah. Typewriters? Mm-hmm. And an older woman, the editorial assistant to all the critics, happened to stop by my desk and read the first paragraph. He said to me, "You're giving a bad review to a Paul Newman movie?" Well, it chilled me. I had just started there, 1 month into the job. And yes, I was. And not just any Paul Newman movie. One co-starring Robert Redford. The film, the world-popular Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Wow.
The film that charmed millions, made Redford a superstar. And the scene that first annoyed me is one that a lot of people around me treasured, is when Catherine Ross is surprised by the stick-up artist played by Redford.
Here, I'm gonna continue here, Scott, but this is what I love about this clip and Siskel, why he is the GOAT, no question, is when he says what everyone around him, someone likes something, and then you're sitting there going, what are you watching? I so relate to what he's saying here, because he's like, everyone thinks this is great, and I'm like, what? And that takes balls. Most people do not have that. Poor Things is the perfect example of that. How many people trash Poor Things? I'm like one of the 5 that have gone as aggressively on that film. Me. Now, is that even further than Siskel would go? Sure, but we're not the same person. But that's the point. Is you have to just be fearless. Let's continue because the story's great. We'll get hit with a copyright strike for this. Stop showing Butch Cassidy.
Yeah, because now it says courtesy of CBS. Fox.
Once you get here on time.
Now, you just have to believe me that I saw that joke coming back then, and I really felt that way about a lot of the movie. I was genuinely challenged to report that. In fact, I was so nervous that after the newspaper secretary made that remark, I went to another advanced screening of the film just to check out my reaction. I didn't like the film any better. Obviously, I knew a lot more of what was going to happen the second time around. I barely changed the review. I just reinforced some of the language, and that was an important lesson to learn very early. You have to tell the truth as you see it, regardless of how unpopular it may make you. I can hear everyone even telling me now, you're wrong, you're wrong. Well, I'm just glad Midnight Cowboy beat it for Best Picture of the Year that year, because that is a better film. Well,
yeah, he sounds like me in Poor Things, but look, that's what you need. You have to be that guy. You have to be certain and fearless, even though, like I said, his editor or copy, like, what? You're gonna do what? And then he just did it. And most critics don't have that. They don't want to stand out. They want to be part of the crowd. They want to keep getting invites. They want to be liked. I have no interest in any of those things. If you can't tell by now, I don't know what show you've been watching.
Well, I mean, the other thing that's fascinating about this too is that, I go to not anymore. I mean, obviously not anymore, but there is a period of time there where just like you, where I went to so many things regularly, and like you would like walk out of things. And I remember my most recent example, I mean, I'm going to give this, was I was at the Wish premiere, and I went to a couple early press days for Wish. I saw a couple of clips and stuff for her, and I was like, okay, it looks promising, it looks cute. And I remember I walked out of their Wish premiere, and literally, I think it's the only thing I've ever tweeted about Wish was like, Ariana DeBose's voice is amazing.
Oh,
that was the only thing I said.
Yeah.
Because like I remember I walked out of that movie and I was around everybody, all the usual people who I'm around, and everyone was like, "Wasn't that great? Wasn't that great?" And I'm like, No, not really.
Yeah, good for you.
But but you just sit there and you're like, after a while, it's very much like that clip. And you sit there and you almost like that thing and I like never revisit that movie. Never wanted to revisit that movie, which is why I never kind of wrote a review, never did a deeper dive in it. But literally for a moment there, you sit there and you question yourself and you go, was it as bad as I thought it was?
Yeah, I know. No, but
you're sitting there going like, was it really as bad as I thought? But then like all these people around you, and you're just sitting there like, what movie did you see?
That was Poor Things with me, 100%, because it was.
Oh no! I mean, listen, dude, I was at Poor Things at Tyler.
Oh yeah, the first
you remember how much fucking crap I got for my tweet on that?
And you didn't even go as hard as I did.
No, I literally just said that it would be so much interesting to see Poor Things made by a different filmmaker from a different.
100%. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
I would love to see Emerald. I know you're not a big fan of her, but I would love to see Emerald Fennell's version of Poor Things.
I'm a fan of her, but I just don't think she sticks the landing. She's missed both, but that's okay. But I still think I'd rather watch an Emerald Fennell film than a Yorgos at this point. I can tell you that.
Well, Yorgos has been making the same movie over and over again.
Yeah, isn't that? And by the way, guess what's playing this Wednesday is The Lobster. Lobster's playing. You can watch it on the big screen. I have A-list, and I think I'm going to be passing. Yeah. By the way, I kept Scott way too long tonight. I promised only a little while.
We went off the rails.
Yeah, it's what it usually happens since we start talking about all the wonderful people in film Twitter. I'm sure I'll be waking up to a bunch of people. Weber said this, and Weber, like, just get on with your life. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna do my thing tomorrow. You're gonna do your thing, Scott. It's what we do. We just keep going, and we watch nothing this week, right? You saw the Dolls movie. It's not good, right?
Which one?
The Dolls, something Dolls, Drive Away, Drive Up Dolls.
Oh, Drive Away Dolls is fine. I mean, you're gonna hate it. So,
okay. Well, then there's that. Yeah. I think. Hey, by the way, I saw Perfect Days. I want to mention this before we leave. I saw Perfect Days. I really like Perfect Days, and here's why
It's
I like
so
Perfect
simple,
Days.
right?
Yeah, that's the thing is let me tell you, I talk about it all the time on this channel. I love a good, grounded, very simple, not much happens in a film movie, right? I love that kind of film. And that's what this is. It's just his life, and he's happy cleaning toilets in Tokyo. And not much happens in the movie, except I was a little surprised because in the trailer, they make it out that his niece showing up is like the whole movie. It's not. What I love about Perfect Days is that it doesn't have this traditional screenplay where this big build. It just has moments and him going through life the way we all kind of live. And then there's a little bit of drama, but then it goes away. And there's a little bit and there's not. And at the end, he's just happy to be listening to his old 70s music on his cassette. And that is wonderful. I love when a film can do almost nothing and yet do everything. And Perfect Days is one of my favorite films of 2023, now having finally seen it in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that at Telluride, and I remember the Neon Claire at Neon was telling me to, like, you have to go see it. And it's such a simple little movie. I love the actor who's in it is just great.
Yep.
If there was a just world, he would have been in the conversation, because he's such a quiet yet nuanced performance.
Correct. He's almost a mute.
Yeah, but it's so good. It's like another one where it just like speaks with his eyes, right?
Yep.
Like I love when so many like, it's like, did you ever see the Caitlin Dever movie that's on Hulu?
No, I didn't see it. The UFO one. I wanted to.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's really great, and it's
Okay.
again another movie where Caitlin doesn't really like say anything. She just speaks like with her face, and again. I love movies where that showcase really how strong an actor is or an actress when they don't even have to open their freaking mouth.
Yep. Yeah. And it speaks to Wender's filmmaking, right? He has a very minimal filmmaking style, and that's what I love too. If I were to make a film like Chris Stuckmann, I'd be the second YouTube guy to make a film. My film would be good because I would make a grounded drama, just about everyday life, how people exist. It's not the sensational stuff where in the middle of the movie something insane happens that takes you out of the film. That's what I love about the Perfect Days. A film like that is that it doesn't need to get sensational to still deliver a message. And I think the message for me of that film and what I love about it is that just take a moment and enjoy the moment, the now, as he says in the film, very much like Sound of Metal. Sound of Metal at the end of the film, right? He's on the bench, same thing. Take a moment and just be happy that you exist at this moment, right? And I think I want to see more films like that and fewer films like MadameWeb and Argyle and Night Swim and Lisa Frankenstein. Man, it's been a bad year, Scott. Thank God I finally saw a good film today.
And it was a 2003.
I know it was.
Sorry, 2023.
It's a movie you saw 6 months ago, but it finally showed up at the Burbank 16, so I finally saw it. Scott, a pleasure.
Why is it coming out? Why
because
is it because of the Oscar thing?
Yes, they decided they wanted to release it as the Oscars come out. I get it. I mean, it's not. Listen, it's never going to make money. That's not a movie. It's going to make a whole bunch of money. But I want us again. Let's celebrate Neon. Neon giving us movies at AMC, right? I mean, I don't have to go over to the Laemmle, which has all those indie films. I can go down and use my A-list and go see Perfect Days. I can go see any Neon movie. I saw all of the small Neon movies last year, like How to Blow Up a Pipeline. These are really small, 500 screens max. They always have those. And I love the fact that I have that, because if I ever move somewhere, I guarantee you don't have those in Vegas. Do you have Perfect Days playing in Vegas? Probably not.
No.
I mean,
no.
You go to see them at the festivals, but for those of us who don't, and I know a lot of people are probably watching the stream going, hey, I can't watch these because they're not in a lot of these cities. That's the beauty of LA. We can get these films and see them on the big screen and at AMC, which is what Netflix will never give us for whatever reason, because they don't care about us. They don't care about cinema.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't seen Robot Dreams. Real quickly, did you see Robot Dreams or not?
I haven't actually.
I haven't either. You know what? They screened it this weekend, and I couldn't get there, so I'm going to try to get to it. I think they're doing screenings of it in March. I heard they're doing like a week or something. I don't know what the release plan is with that. It's weird, but now that it got the Oscar nominations, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
It's not opening until like
May
or something, right?
Like, but I believe they have dates in March. Look on your AMC app. I think they have some. They do early screenings. Because I'm going to try, you know how I don't go to a lot of these screenings, but if it's not going to open till May, then I'm going to see it. And also the Rose Glass movie opens up in March. So I knew I wouldn't have to wait that long to see it. I can't wait for my reaction to that.
No,
I know you're like, I can't wait.
No, I told you. No. I said, the more I think about that movie, the more I like it.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, you're going to have the same problems that I had with it, especially in that end. I mean, it goes so off the rails that even though you'll appreciate it a lot more than I did, it's still like it goes so off. But it's one of those. But one of the things that I like about it, and it's the same reason why I like Saltburn in certain ways and Promising Young Woman, is that I like the fact that it's edgy and it's like different and ambitious. Like I always give, it's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I always give points for filmmakers who kind of like try things, even if it doesn't work. I would rather someone try something
100%. Yep.
Than like just kind of make something so fucking conventional and
right.
straightforward. Like it's just because we see so many of these movies where they're just so lazy and by the numbers over and over and over and over again, that when you see something that's like kind of ambitious, you want to celebrate that.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Scott, as always, a pleasure. And next time we have a big movie, we'll bring you. Like, I don't know. It's not next week's like nothing. It's a nothing weekend, but we'll have. We'll have Dune. We'll have Dune. By the way, I'm not for sure, but I'm gonna try. I might be able to see Dune on Tuesday. If I see it Tuesday, I'm gonna do a stream on Tuesday. Are you gonna see it early or not?
I already saw it.
Oh, you son of a bitch! All right. Don't save it. Don't tell me anything.
I won't.
All right. He already saw it. I'm gonna hopefully see it Tuesday, and we'll probably do. I think when is the review embargo? Wednesday.
This week.
It's like Wednesday, right? So maybe I'll just tape
Thursday,
something.
yeah.
I'll probably tape a reaction on Tuesday night because I can't do it a lot. They'll be more.
Yeah. No. They were also very, very strict about it this time.
Yep. That's why I'm like, I'll just wait. So, okay.
Because there was something where they were even like, you can't even talk about the details. You can't even give us like a rating grade.
Yeah.
Review embargo is February 21st.
That's okay. What, tomorrow's Monday, Tuesday? That's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yep.
9 a.m. Pacific time.
Okay. Perfect. I'll probably tape something. If I see it, if I get to it on Tuesday. If not, it's playing next Sunday at AMC for those of you who want to see it early. They have the early access screenings on Sunday at 7:00. I probably, if I see it Tuesday, I'll probably see it again on Sunday. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I'm positive. I know it is. All right, Scotty, thanks as always. I'm going to wrap the show here in a second, and I will talk to you soon.
All right,
pleasure. Thanks for being on here. All right, so guys, real quickly, I want to get to one comment that I think is really important before we leave, and I mentioned this film, and if I can just finish the stream with this, I'm going to tell you this, that for me, if you were to ask me, and I said this when I saw Sound of Metal, and this is a perfect way to wrap this. We just talked about Perfect Days, and Sound of Metal is very much like that. Not just in tone, but in filmmaking. If you were to ask me, how do I want my film to move and breathe and exist on the screen, I want it to be Darius Marder's Sound of Metal. I've said it before. It's a perfect comment to bring in here by Jerk McMillan. I am here to tell you that when Sunset Circle gave him Best Director the year that Sound of Metal was out, was at 2021. I was so proud of the organization when we handed that to him for Best Director. I cannot wait to see what Darius Marder does, because that man is very talented at doing very little and telling a story with minimal direction and delivering really a powerful film. And I felt that way about Perfect Days. I like Sound of Metal more, but that's my kind of stuff. That's my wheelhouse. Go out there this week. Find your wheelhouse, and we will see you next time on MMT. Maybe it'll be on Tuesday night with if it's the Dune, I don't think I can even do a Tuesday night. I don't want to get in trouble. Wednesday, I'll probably come here Tuesday night, tape something, and then you'll look for a take here from the set on Wednesday morning when that embargo breaks. I cannot wait for Dune 2. I don't think you guys understand. Dune 1 was my number one film of 2021. Same year as Sound of Metal, right? My God, these are two fantastic films and two different filmmakers and different feels, but yet two wonderful things that gave us a wonderful cinema that year. And I can't wait to see Dune 2. But if you haven't seen Sound of Metal, make that your mission this week. That is our MMT recommendation. That's going to do it. Live from LA, a pleasure. We went an hour and 20. You got extra bonus time tonight. I'll see you next time. Thanks for being here, MMT. Peace out. Live from LA. I'm